Welcome back to Pyschonauts 2. We're going to do the mailroom stuff today. Now there are a lot of things we can discover if we wander around in the base and talk to everybody and look at everybody. Most of this stuff is attempting to build up the various interns as characters.
And I didn't hear.
Now, Norma is my least favorite, but there are plenty of others to choose from.
What's up, little guy?
Because I'm the one who has to clean up all the wheel marks.
It's a lead board, no wheels.
Oh, you're gonna rub that in now? You kids think you're better than us just because you can do psychic stuff?
What? No.
You think I like pushing them up with my hands?
No,
If I could blink and make all the wheel marks go away, then I'd say go ahead. Clean the cubes or whatever.
But there's no marks.
It's fun to look at these characters, and at some point we're going to do an overview of each of their designs. Gisu is a good one. Most of them are good ones. One of the serious problems that you'll have while you're exploring this world is overlapping conversations. Usually it will be one of the automatics. The automatics will constantly advertise themselves to you when you're within 400 feet of them. And it is going to overlap with actual plot beats, and that is something that if you're making your own game, you should be careful to avoid that. This advice that we already got earlier will never go away, so we have to do it right now, or else it will remain there forever. So here we've got Lizzie and Connie, but there was also a whispered little sound from somebody else.
Hey!
From the janitor. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on, but now that the automatic is talking, we can go get into a plot point.
Did someone say something about pirate radio?
No.
Yes. Morris is doing it, and it's totally against.
Unfortunately, we never learned that there was anything about pirate radio. We never heard that bit. So it's one of those things where they're just pretending that we did, like I mentioned earlier.
Be a rank riser, not card miser. Combine your psi cards with a psi core.
Get a hold of yourself, Oleander.
Gonna look fighting Maligula without my battle bot, cheapskates.
Hey, I'm with you. Letting him build a battle anything is probably a bad idea.
Oh, right. New intern. Thought I told you not to be late. Doesn't matter. You need a mentor. Let me see who's left.
Ooh. Am I helping Mia? Or Sasha on a mission?
No. You're in the mailroom. Your mentor is Nick John Smith.
Mailroom? Nick John Smith? I've never heard of an Agent John Smith.
Nick's not an agent. He's not even psychic. He's just good at sorting mail. You'll love Nick. Everybody does.
The mailroom?
Ford Cruller himself worked in that mailroom. You could learn a lot there. For one thing, how to be on time. Okay, I've given you fingerprint access to the mailroom. Now scoot. I've got a base to run and a budget to balance.
So there was a lot going on in that conversation. The background elements that we pick up on, like the fact that Ford Cruller worked the mailroom and the fact that she has a budget to balance, those are all things that add to the conversation quite a bit. But obviously the main point of that conversation was to talk about Nick John Smith. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Hey! How's your dad?
Terrible! I gotta go get him some therapy plant stats.
How'd you get that hatch open?
Oh, it's got a fingerprint combination. I can teach it to you. Come here. It's more than just a number. You kinda have to feel it. Do you feel it?
Yes.
Good. Tell anybody you got it from me, and you're dead. Bye!
10-year-olds. Obviously they play the relationship for laughs with the understanding that they're both you know, 10. So, you know, don't take her punching him in the shoulder too seriously. Anyway, Nick John Smith. Obviously, we understand that someone with a name like Nick John Smith is not a background NPC. A name like John Smith, which is so obviously made up, clearly shows that this is someone that we are going to have a little bit of a plot situation. Either his name is John Smith because he made it up in-world, or they wanted us, or the writers made it up and wanted to make it clear that he feels like he's fake or doesn't belong in this world. You know, there's lots of possibilities, but John Smith is not a name that makes sense, so let's see what he's got to say for himself. And of course, the whole plot arc with Nick John Smith is pretty interesting. It's definitely one of the stronger arcs in the game, one of the more important arcs in the game, and it doesn't just go with us being introduced to him and then being done with it. In fact, we can't be introduced to him. He's not even in the mailroom. Ooh. Now, I really enjoy the mailroom. These inward sloped walls really create a wonderful sense of height and unease. And we have a lot of clutter here, which is just fun to break and bust up.
New intern here.
We've got some height, some stuff that we can jump onto, which is marked with a card, so you know it can be jumped onto. And we've got a rat. I'm not sure why they put this rat here. It does get you some money, but why would you want this to be here? Wouldn't it make more sense to put this somewhere where it doesn't interfere with your journey towards the John Smith? Anyway, we've also got Ford Crowler's Employee of the Year certificate. He must have gotten that Caribbean vacation that everybody wanted. Lori is a minor NPC who's hanging around down here. Her main point is that she is here to make sure that we understand that people like Nick to an unhealthy degree. But first, let's talk about this second floor that we're on.
I can't remember the last time I saw him.
Obviously, we've got one of these that we've seen before. We don't have a special power to get through that yet. Similarly, we're being introduced to a new thing we don't have the power to get through. And the fact that they put in this swirling mist disc was a really good idea. If it had just been the whirling fan blades, you might have thought maybe you could like jump through or something. But because there's a really obvious fog, you know that you're going to have to do something somewhere else to get this to stop.
He's usually so organized.
Both of these are Metroidvania-style power-up gates, but one of the weaknesses of this game's level design is that the Metroidvania-style gates always just have one tiny thing behind them.
Should I tell somebody?
We get a key here. We get a power-up token there. There's not really anything interesting behind these gates. And that's because this game isn't... they don't lock off the level with Metroidvania power-ups. Instead, they lock off the level with plot points. So it's not as open world as something like a Metroidvania can be. Instead, it is... very much that as you do missions, the game literally, you know, brings more places to go into existence. And your upgrade powers just get you some bennies. That's not my favorite way to design this kind of thing, but it's not bad. It's functional. Oh, and here's an office we can't get into.
Where is Nick? I can't remember the last time I saw him.
Everything okay in here?
Who are you?
I'm, Nick John Smith's new intern.
Oh, so you're the one not sorting all this mail.
Wait!
Better get all this mail sorted, quick! You're making Nick look bad.
So here we get a little bit of a mini game where we can practice our psychic power of telekinesis, which is important because telekinesis is probably the hardest power to control for now. Later on we'll get a few that are harder. But it makes a lot of sense to allow us to practice it here in this mini game that doesn't matter at all. You know, there's no benefit for going fast or slow or anything. So it's very low risk. Even if you get it wrong, nobody cares. At some point, you'll have sorted enough mail, whether you win or lose, so that last one I sorted it incorrectly. Anyway, the next plot point happens. A big package to Truman Zanotto.
Truman Zanotto? Hey, this might be important. I'd better bring it to Truman. Technically...
If you don't remember the names, Truman Zanotto is Lily's father, the guy that was kidnapped. He's currently unconscious. So, we're going to bring him a package, but he's not going to be able to open it because he's unconscious. So what do you think? Are we going to get all the way to Truman Zanotto while carrying this package? I wouldn't write it that way because it wouldn't make any sense. Truman Zanotto is unconscious and we're not supposed to meet him yet. We want the meeting between us and Truman Zanotto to have some impact. So us showing up carrying a big box is probably not the most efficient way to do that. Moreover, the big box is a mystery to itself. It doesn't need a second mystery to screw it up. So, you know, the assumption I'm having is that this box is not going to make it all the way to Truman Zanotto. And guess what? I'm right.
What the?
Hey, you guys gotta check this out. The new kid killed Nick.
He's alive, but he's brainless.
Just as a note, this is nothing new. If you haven't played Pyschonauts 1, being brainless was pretty common. You feed somebody sneezing powder or, pepper, and they'll sneeze their brains out. And then their heads will be empty, and you can use their brains to pilot robot tanks. Nick's brain being missing is interesting because then it leads to the question, where's the brain? Is the brain controlling something? Is the brain, imprisoned somewhere because Nick knew something? My assumption is that Nick is the mole because his name is Nick John Smith. And he's a mailroom clerk. So, that would make a lot of sense. But then why would the mole rip his own brain out? Or did someone else rip his brain out? Exactly what's going on here. Why would they mail it to Truman Zanotto? This is the only plot point in the game that I think really works. The rest of the plot points work, but they're just kind of functional. This plot point is almost brilliant, and it never really gets hammered home how brilliant it was to mail Nick John Smith's body to Truman Zanotto. If you already know the plot of Pyschonauts, then you know what I'm talking about, and maybe you didn't even think of it until I mentioned it. Obviously, you mail Nick's body to Truman Zanotto. Obviously.
What kind of sick monster would steal Nick's brain? I mean, Nick!
Maybe he saw something he shouldn't have.
But why keep his body alive?
And why mail it to the grand head of the Pyschonauts?
It could be a warning.
Hey guys, does the Lady Luctopus Casino mean anything to you?
It means
Isn't
mission.
that where we sent Agent 33?
To investigate suspected delusionist activity?
So Agent 33 is someone that you will have heard a little bit about as you're exploring the base. People talk about him on the loudspeaker, and they also discuss him in person. He's someone that's missing. Actually, I don't even know if it's a he. They're someone that's missing.
Agent 33 is 2 days late with her status
it's a her.
update.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get the jet.
I'll pack the go case.
I'll stay here and protect the children.
What? Aren't we all going on the mission?
We could use you in tactical command, Agent Forsyth.
And maybe the interns would benefit from...
It's not safe. Not while we have a double agent among us.
I'll take her place. I've heard the buffet there is shockingly reasonable.
Well, if you reconsider, meet us on the jet pad within the hour.
Can't we just...
And this is a wonderful foundation for the next section of the game. We are now being set up with the idea that we're being babied, and we need to go on the mission. At least Raz thinks we need to go on the mission. So, we are going to try and figure out a way to help us go on the mission, to make us go on the mission. And that is the next, plot point. Now, Nick saying TV is also not a huge surprise. That's what happened to the brainless people in the first game.
Nick's body back to the mailroom. I should go check and see if he's okay.
Scanning.
He is my mentor, after all.
So if we go back down to the mailroom, we can meet Nick again. Of course, Nick's brain is gone, but we can still meet him. And so one of the things that we do is over the course of the game, while Nick is brainless, we are constantly finding him wandering into stupid situations because he doesn't have a brain.
Mal. Almost had it. I just need to focus a little longer with my clairvoyance.
Do not crush! Fragile!
Next episode, we'll do the lessons, because the next thing we're going to do is a lesson with Agent Forsyth where we learn another power. I love the lesson. I think it's a really great way to finish off the tutorial section of the game, which, this is just an extended tutorial still. And this is where the game is getting good. It's already picked up tremendously, and it's only going to improve from here. So,
Well, at
see you next time.
Yeah, but he's brainless.
Yeah, but you know that Nick was all heart anyway.